guys, welcome back to my channel. This week I will be filming my 32-week pregnancy update video. I hope you guys enjoy it and let's hop straight into it. So first off, excuse my appearance. I know I look a mess, so you just gotta deal with this mess. Let's go over the symptoms that I have had this week during pregnancy. This week has been pretty easy, I'm not going to lie. I've had a bit more energy this week for some strange reason, I don't really know why. I've been able to do things like I'm actually able to get up off the sofa, if that makes sense. I still am running out of breath, but that's to be expected. And I know from 32 weeks onwards the baby will then drop, so then it releases pressure off the organs that are pushing up against your ribs and lungs or whatever in there, and you're able to breathe a bit better. You won't run out of breath, but then you have all the pain in your pelvis area because the baby's like getting into position. I am running back and forth from the toilet quite often, more so now than I have been before. I've felt very congested up, and I can't tell if it's to do with hay fever or it's to do with pregnancy. I don't really know what is causing it, because I know we're going into spring, so pollen in the air is to increase. So, and I do suffer from hay fever. I take hay fever tablets and stuff like that there, but I haven't taken anything. I'm scared to take anything just in case that I'm not allowed to during pregnancy. I feel like the baby's hitting off my pubic bone, and maybe that's just him trying to get his head engaged into the right position. I did have an appointment last week on Tuesday that passed, so this week, and my midwife checked me. The baby is measuring perfectly, he's on track, heartbeat's spot on, so he's doing really well. His movements are spot on too, he's very active, and he's still kicking me in the ribs. And it's weird because what I've noticed is he's able to come in front of my rib, which I was like, I don't understand how that is happening, like how's he in front of my rib? And that's really uncomfortable when his foot goes up that far. I'm not a really big fan of that. It's nice to know that my baby is moving like quite a lot. I like to feel his movement so that I know that everything's alright, but I don't like the feeling of the movement, if that makes sense. And that's really everything that's been going on this week as in symptom wise, so I feel fine. I haven't cried this week. I know I mentioned in my last video that I cried quite a bit because of my appearance, and I have made it a thing where I don't look at myself as often now as I did, because I just pick at myself and I shouldn't do that. So yeah, my battery's going to die. That's so annoying. Let's see the development of my baby at week 32. So I'll start with the length this time and the weight of the baby. So we are measuring at 43.7 centimetres, and he weighs about 1,918 grams. So that is a rough estimate of where the baby should be at 32 weeks. Anyway, so even though your baby's bones are hardening, their skull is still not solid. And the skull bones are not fused together. This allows the baby's head to reduce in diameter as it passes through the birth canal. Your baby's brain is developing more distinct functions and is capable of controlling breathing, digestive function and body temperature. Your baby can now tell the difference between day and night. Lungs are almost completely ready for breathing on their own, and if your baby is born now, your baby would need only a little medical support. That was a short brief, but that's interesting. Something that I did mention about is the baby going through your, when you give birth, obviously the head shape changes to allow you to birth the baby, and that just reminded me of something. On my appointment on Tuesday past there, I brought up the fact that I am pretty slim, because a lot of people have mentioned to me that I am slim and they don't think my hips are going to widen enough for me to be able to go into birth. So I brought that up with my midwife because it was kind of something that I just wanted to get off my chest, because I thought this at the very start of my pregnancy, that I am never going to be able to give a natural birth to my baby. When I say natural, I mean like I'll be taking every single medicine or whatever pain relief is offered to me because I can't deal with pain. I faint when I'm sick, so I can't deal with that, but like basically give birth through my vagina. So I just wanted to talk to her about it and bring up with her to see what her opinion was, because everyone was saying like, oh, you're probably going to have a C-section, and I always agreed. I always said like, yeah, I'm pretty much prepared for that because I thought that's what's going to happen anyway. So I brought it up with my midwife, and she said it doesn't actually matter with the width of your hips whether you can deliver a baby vaginally or not. And the reason for that is because your pelvis inside could be wider, and that'll determine. It doesn't really matter about your hips basically, but the question that she did ask me is what size of feet I was. So I said I was a size 4, and she says, no, you'll be completely fine. We see you as a healthy active person, and you'll be able to deliver a baby perfectly. She says the only things that would bring up a concern is if you're a size 2 or smaller in feet size. This is UK sizes, by the way. You can convert them into American or whatever state you're in, but UK size 2. She said if I was a size 2, then yes, it would probably mean I would need a C-section because of my hips. She says that means that normally determines that your pelvis is smaller. So she said I was completely fine, which kind of gave me a bit of relief, and I'm not as stressed out now as I was before, because I was stressing like, why hasn't she said anything to me about my shape of my body, like why is she not saying that I could have a C-section and stuff like this here. It was just constant questions like, why is she not saying anything to me? But I cleared it all up, and she said that I'm perfectly fine. She says although she does say that, she can't 100% say that at the end there might be a chance of having a C-section if your baby's breached or something like that there. Like something could happen down the line where I need an emergency C-section, but as far as it looks now, everything's going really well. So I'm happy about that, and I thought I would share that with you guys. If you have concerns or you ever thought about something like that, like you maybe slim like myself, like I am a rectangle, I don't have hips whatsoever, I've never developed hips. And even with pregnancy my hips do move out, but they haven't moved out a lot, like they've moved like the slightest wee bit. But yeah, I thought I'd throw that out there because that was something that I was thinking in my head, and I've never seen anyone mention about that in their videos before, because most people that are pregnant on YouTube have quite big hips or have hips in some way, shape or form. I don't. I just don't. Don't worry. And if you have any questions, then do ask your midwife, because they're the perfect people to ask. They have the births in there like multiple times, and they have other people in there. They've seen it all. I'll now show you my bump update. This is my bump at 32 weeks pregnant. I feel absolutely humongous. My bump feels tight some days. I'm still getting that weird indent on my belly button where it goes in and out some weird way, whatever way the baby's lying. He feels pretty high recently. I don't know why. He should be dropping down soon, but he still feels pretty high. The midwife did mention at my appointment that the baby's head is slightly higher, but not to worry, because at 34 weeks it should be down and prepared for birth. So she's not too concerned about that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. If you did, then please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos from me and keep up to date with my pregnancy. I post every Sunday for my pregnancy updates and the odd Wednesday of normal videos. But yeah, I will see you guys again for another update next week.